when I started out, it was very much a, yeah, we understand there's a need for privacy, but in terms of our risk priorities, privacy is not up there.
Several people around the organization thought, privacy, what is that? Is that a demotion, Agnes?
When I started telling people I'm now into privacy, people were like, is that another Y2K?
Oh, it's only 15% of a person. It's not going to take that much effort.
At the time, it was around 2003 when CAN-SPAM was just about to be enacted.
I'm the only person in my law firm that does this. It appears to be an emerging area of law. What do I do?
There's California data security breach law, brand new, that was being enacted, and privacy was still kind of a brand new thing.
I found myself and a very small team brought in to client after client to deal with online privacy issues.
We suddenly realized we were a covered entity because of our pharmacy, and it was like, oh, now we have something new to think about.
When I left my role as the Consumer Affairs Commissioner for New York to become a CPO, some of the local business publications made fun of it. They said, this goofy title, Chief Yahoo, Chief People Officer, Chief Privacy Officer, this is a .com thing that'll dissipate.
It was crystal clear that there was going to be just an explosion of developments.
And here we are today, at IAPP with thousands and thousands of professionals.
And it's just become much bigger than I ever expected in terms of now I have an entire career around privacy.
Privacy professionals, supported by the IAPP, are the leaders in helping interpret, study, examine, helping businesses navigate. We either will be enslaved by our data or we're going to be empowered by it. And it's members of the IAPP who are going to help chart that course.
We can trace back the history of the IAPP to the year 2000 when the Privacy Officers Association was formed. It was originally formed from a recognition that there was this new issue, privacy, and there were these new professionals in the marketplace, chief privacy officers, they were usually called, who were doing this work, and they really had no place to meet, no place to get engaged, or few places to do that. So a conference was created and an organization was created around that conference.
The fact that we can say there is a privacy profession is a victory. When we first set out, we kind of were like-minded people who bumped into each other and said, let's hang on for dear life and figure out what's going on.
We were English lit majors, political science majors, lawyers, that kind of thing, who just knew this was the right thing to do.
The privacy professionals 10 years ago, if we had a conference and had 50 people in the room, that was a huge success.
And the second annual conference was maybe a third the size, I think, of our current conferences.
We had formed two different groups of people who were working together in kind of a loose confederation of privacy officers.
And we then realized that not everyone's a privacy officer or chief privacy officer. There are people throughout the ranks within a company working in IT, working in legal, working in compliance that didn't have that title, so we wanted to be all inclusive.
And so we just established in this one meeting in a hotel room, 30 people or a little fewer, the IAPP.
I remember as the founding president doing an opening statement at one of our summits, mentally in my mind I was saying, okay, please let me get this correct. Please let me say International Association of Privacy Professionals and not fumble it for the first time.
And we decided that this is a profession, and we committed to making this something that is measurably observable. This is what I do.
I am a CIPP. Yes, I have a CIPP certification.
I'm CIPP certified by the IAPP.
Shortly after joining in March of 2008, I believe, I became certified.
I'm not sure. I keep hearing from people that it's a difficult exam, so we'll see.
In my mind, the certification program really was the most significant milestone for the IAPP. I think it really put the stake in the ground and sent a message out there that privacy is a profession, that the IAPP is shaping that profession.
We've had lawyers and IT professionals and information security professionals and healthcare managers, all of whom want to have this basic knowledge and are really hungry for this basic knowledge. And so it was very challenging trying to develop training.
We pulled together a fantastic volunteer advisory board who built our first body of knowledge, who built our first exam. Larry Poneman helped us with drafting the exam and creating the program. And in 2004, in New Orleans, we launched the very first CIPP exam.
I took my materials, I stayed in a Holiday Inn Express around the corner, and studied and studied and studied.
Now, I would be not completely honest if I said the first exam went without issue.
The exam had been developed in parallel of the training and perhaps didn't track as closely to the training as it might have.
They would have been perfect essay questions. And as a lawyer, you know, as my wife says, you know, there are no black and white answers. Everything is, well, it depends. So every one of these answers was, it depends.
Well, I mean, you know, I just wrote all over it. You know, what does this question even mean?
Never forget that several-hour endeavor.
But I think the difficulty of the exam was clearly offset by the fact that it was proctored by Richard Purcell, wearing a nun's habit. And I think that the image of Sister Richard, priceless.
A class of about 150 examinees took our very first exam, and many of them became our very first class of CIPPs.
I'm a CIPP, even though I'm not wearing my pin at the moment.
I am a CIPP.
CIPP.
I am proud to say I'm certified and I'm a CIPP-C.
I am simply a CIPP. I have no other certification.
Well, I am proud to be a certified information privacy professional. I have my pin on.
Oops. It's not there.
And some others didn't, as I understand.
So we actually have a profession. We have an association like this association that actually brings the professionals together in a forum to share, to learn, to become accredited.
The IAPP conferences are some of the best opportunities in the profession. They provide some great thought leadership and some practical ideas.
There's no other place where I can go and bump into hundreds of colleagues.
It covers a broad range of topics, ranging from technical to regulatory to, in some cases, just a matter of opinion or perspective.
This conference, unlike other conferences, is a very solid mix of both public and private industry.
It's a fabulous opportunity, really, to meet the regulators that otherwise you only see when you get in trouble.